I'm a third generation Spartan. My grandparents on my mother's side graduated from Mason County Central. Both my parents graduated from Mason County Central. My father in 1966, my mother in 1972, and I graduated from Mason County Central in 1993. In 2000, I moved back to the area and accepted a teaching position at our middle school. I taught there for 6 years before accepting a principal position at our middle school, and I've been a principal at Mason County Central for 17 years. My wife and I have 2 children that attend Mason County Central, one in 6th grade and one in 9th grade, and they, in the very near future, will also graduate from Mason County Central just as I did 30 years ago. I want to talk a little bit with our watchers about safety and kind of just a little bit about our journey of safety at Scottville Elementary. We have been implementing a lot of procedures, practices, putting a lot of things in place in our buildings across the district, but specifically at Scottville Elementary to keep those within our buildings safe. For probably the last 8-10 years, we've been working on that. A lot of preparation goes into that. Each time that we hear about an unfortunate incident on the news, we're recalculating what we do, watching and learning from each situation, and working very closely with our local law enforcement and other community partners. One of the conversations that we always come back to when we talk about concerns and questions is our entrances to our buildings. We need more secure entry points to keep our children and our staff safer. Even with all the practices and procedures and things we have in place, we need that. I can't stress that enough. Part of this bond is to update and remodel those entrances across the district so that any traffic off the street has to funnel through the office. Not only is that a deterrent, it's also something that would buy us some time if we needed it to get children and staff in a safer location, and that's very important. So that is one component of this bond. Like I said, I can't stress enough the importance of needing that, and all of our staff would agree with that. The other thing that I want to talk about is updating and modernizing our learning environments. At Scottville Elementary, what that would mean is we would have, aside from the entry point that I already spoke of, we'd have some updated technology and infrastructure to enhance those learning experiences for our students. We'd have some playground enhancements that would be out there that we'd work through the bond. We'd have some cosmetic changes in the building. All of our buildings have slowly outdated over time, and there's some things that we need. And we'd also have new furnishings that would be a part of that. The other buildings would have similar things, with obviously the most changes being at the high school. That's where most of the updates and upgrades are needed. I wanted to talk just a minute about that. One thing to think about is with our Scottville Elementary students, K-2 students, they would be able to benefit from all these changes. There's not a group of kids that would benefit more from that than our students here at Scottville Elementary. Very important. I want to also talk a little bit about our arts programs. We have Mrs. Keith is our music teacher, K-5, and Mr. Schultz is our band director at the high school level, and Mr. Richard, of course, takes care of the performing arts, some of the forensics and some of those things, and those individuals have put a lot of time and effort into building our programs. And one of the things that, if you ask Mr. Schultz, he and Mrs. Keith have been working on with band in particular, is we have, I believe, 89 fifth graders in the upper elementary right now. And if you didn't know, they prep with music and all those things at the elementary levels, learning the notes, and then they start playing instruments when they get into 6th grade. And they've worked hard with those students. We have 65 of those 89 students looking to enter the band program when they enter 6th grade. And with that type of growth, we are going to quickly outgrow our spaces. An auditorium at the high school is not just an auditorium, it's a classroom. And it's not just a stage. There's a lot of things. It's something that the community can benefit from, but these growing programs that our teachers are working hard to put together depend on it. So very, very important. In order to do these things, in order to get these needed changes that I spoke about, we need our community to step in and pass this bond. There's nothing more important right now. So please make sure that on May 2nd, you get out to the polls and you vote. Thank you.